Hello everyone, and welcome to another series of Dwarf Fortress. 2015-14 was it that this new version was released? And yeah, it's been a while. It's definitely been a while, but I want to get back into this game. I have recently made a new map with all the default settings, savagery, minerals, size, history, everything. So we're gonna get into it and start a new fortress. This time we will have 7 miners, and we'll also make them engravers with our starting points and use them as a sort of basic construction force. And as for actual skilled labor, we will develop that over time using migrants instead of having starting professions that are, already pre-set up. So that being the case, the game is just gonna process a couple of weeks of in-game time for the whole world. It does take a little bit for the simple reason that it's a normal sized world as opposed to a small one. And we will be using the prospect all command on dfhack to see what is in whatever territory we are going for, because we do want either gold or at least stuff like iron. Probably do want a brook. Essentially we'll be building a mine shaft. That's other veinstone, well and good. What do we have? That's gems, ore, sphalerite, galena, hematite, garnerite and native aluminum. It's cute, but not what I'm looking for. Actually, there is fluxstone, so we could make steel, but I'm thinking gold. And I don't know, making something in the cold north does appeal to me, I have to admit. So how about here? This first video will probably be just the setting out and the embarkation, so you can skip ahead if you want. And there's some native gold, lots of tetrahedrite and sphalerite. I think this will do. It's also heavily forested, which is a very much a benefit. So yes, we'll go with this. First thing we do is get rid of all the wood and crap, because we will be wanting to make that on the spot. We will keep one rope and the thread and cloth, I suppose. First thing, make everyone a miner. Because like I said, construction force, we want to be able to swiftly dig things out and create vast amounts of actual building space. And then we make everyone an engraver as well. You'll probably be able to hear some clicking from the keyboard. I'm not using my very quiet laptop keyboard because it sucks for playing this game. It's just not good enough for something this keyboard intensive, because it's so small and cramped mostly. So I apologize in advance for any annoying keyboard sounds, but it kind of has to be a thing. So in order for us to actually survive here, what do we need? For a start, having something like 25 plum helmets is a good bet. And having some pickaxes is good, as well as some extra booze on top of it is probably good. And that more or less covers all of our starting stuff, so we might as well embark. I guess it's not going to take that long at all, and we're going to get to the playing right away.
We've reached the embarkment zone.
Okay.
This had better be worth it.
Tin mobbed. I do think we have... Do we have tin? No. Sphalerite is zinc, so no, we don't have tin, at least, but that's fine. We do have sand of various kinds, which does mean that we can actually make all kinds of interesting things happen. How are the sound levels on this? Oh, those seem fine. Okay, great. Great, actually, let me readjust that down here in my headphones. Sorry. And I'm gonna adjust the sound sense up so that you can hear things a bit more clearly. Is that better? A little bit. Okay. That should be good. That should be just fine. Mostly it's red sand here. And that's clay loam. Which isn't actually clay. It's clay loam. Again, all kinds of loam, not very much actual clay. So we might not have a clay industry to go with the sand. Essentially this is a bit of a valley. Okay, we can work with this. Let's connect to this. And I think the first thing we do is start heading underground here. I'm thinking someplace like here we are gonna start building a stairway down, and then we're gonna just dig out an area around the stairway. Well, we're gonna do that on all the levels anyway. So, like this. For now, at least. Essentially, I want to dig down till I hit a rock layer, I think. And that's a lot of roots, which isn't ideal. And it does look like there is more clayey crap around here. So why don't we dig a couple more levels down through that? At least it's good for practice, since they still get, I think, the full amount of actual awesomeness from it, skill-wise. Okay, we've hit some stuff here. That's good. So on this level, we're gonna make just an upstair, and this is gonna be our entrance into the fortress proper. So we're gonna make some possibly temporary workshops around here, but in any case we're gonna be digging out the entrance area here. Thinking we will be doing something like this, and building some barracks possibly later on around the entrance, and then have a gate here. Yeah, I'm thinking like this. Then some traps. And then sort of an atrium. And then a workshop area that stretches out some. I think we'll go with that. What did we strike? We have coal here. Sweet! We have coal as well on top of everything. That is very, very good indeed. Excellent. See, we're just gonna use that as a sort of blockable, offable thing. Actually, let's expand it by 2. Have it like this, and then like this. I think that's good. I do want to have a few traps here to act as a thing to deter invaders that do get this far in, and or thieves. Possibly I might actually make the barracks here. Actually, yes, I think we'll have something like 2 barracks anyway, so we can put them on the other side, just on the other side of the bridge and the traps. So if invaders somehow get it in this far, we can just do it here. Yeah, and we'll put the bridge here. It'll still be awesome. And then, since we do need some starting workshops in any case, let's go with this. Yes, dig out that. That's a good sort of starting place. Just as a stopgap measure till we have more people. There is a lot of crap here. I'm gonna construct some stone walls around this thing in order to make this be properly protected as far as stairways go. It won't make much of a difference, except that it will clean out some of the stuff from down below, essentially. And like this. So now they should, after they're done digging, just bring it up. And coal-wise, we do have a little bit. We could, once we actually hit some sort of a metal, be able to start doing something with it. And here we'll have the barracks, so we might as well get that particular thing ready. At least dig it out, so that it's good and ready to go. Ooh, red tourmaline, sweet. Have to like the gems, right? Gems are fun. You're doing that, good, and you are dragging those stones up. Okay, good, great. We'll just... yeah, just to prevent tree roots from fucking this up, we'll sheet this in some stone. It'll be great, honest. I could start smoothing and engraving this already, in fact. And I am half tempted to do so, but it seems too early for that, honestly. Okay, let us say, for the sake of argument, that we had some stockpiles here for, say, various bars, which we will need, and wood, which we again will need eventually. So we can go with this. In fact, I'm gonna close the mini-map because I rarely use that. Okay, they are done here, which means that... oh, have to love that electric blue, don't you? Kind of hurts my eyes a bit when it's this contrasty, but it's a nice color. And we're gonna use microline to fill out those stairs as well. Doesn't seem like there's too much of it, just a little vein really in this area. Still, it's a thought. Yeah, there is certainly a lot of the bituminous coal variety of things. I think I want to start smelting that up as soon as possible. For reasons. Okay, so what will we need? We'll need carpenters. Definitely. We'll need masons. We'll need a butchers. We'll need a tanners. We'll need a forge. Say here. And we'll need a smelter, or a pair of smelters in fact. And a wood furnace. And I think that's good for starting workshops. So let me just enable some labors on them, like say masonry and carpentry, wood burning, furnace operating and architecture, and that will allow them to build those when the time for that comes up. And we'll replace the, you know, peat or loam stairways with stone ones, just to make sure they don't get overgrown with moss and the like. And downstairs. do we have enough microline to finish them on this level? No, we would have to dig out some more. We don't want to do it here though. Okay. 9 by 9, accept that. Want to, yeah, make a, yeah, that's 9 by 9 isn't enough. Okay, 3, 3. Oops. So it would have to go like this. Crap. Messy, 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 messy. It's always messy. Okay, that would be the stairwell. An up-down one. The farms will actually be off of this stairwell, so that they're on the air quotes inside of the fort, and thus safe. We might make some more storages off of this, possibly a food storage at the back here, because again, useful to have some, you know, food storage. I will temporarily enable one of them to actually be a woodcutter so that we can get some charcoal going. In a while after these are done, I suppose, but you know. Simply because that is a thing that does need to happen. Oops. Wrong thing. Okay, so that's 11 by 11 on the food, or the temporary food storage. Yes, you are happily building your microline stairwells. Well done. Well done, little dwarves, well done. Looks like there's a small gem pocket there, which is okay. It would be good if we managed to get something we could trade with the outside world. Just as a thing. What have we struck? Coal there, okay, some tourmalines and more microline. Excellent, that means we'll be able to make the stairway entrance on the surface a nice blue. Actually, I could make it very nice blue anyway, with a bit of chicanery. And actually, we will be storing weaponry and armor around here anyway, so why don't we, for now at least, make it like this, and actually expand these as well, like that. I'm thinking I will make some microline stone blocks. Essentially, you can turn one unit of microline into 4 blocks, which is good when you have a lot of construction that is going to be happening. And I do want to resheet all of these stairways in microline if I can, at least the ones that are in actual soil. For reasons. It's nice to have this many miners, as you can see, because we can actually do the construction projects very easily. The mining is actually proceeding at a decent pace, unlike most games. We do that by sacrificing everything else, of course, but it does really min-max that one thing that we actually really wanted. Right, I did not enable butchery tannery. Fair enough. Alright, and the other temporary stockpile will make a refuse stockpile to save all the bones and the like. Because that will be useful. Yes. Yes, I think that's what we want to do. I think that will do nicely. Now obviously we will have eventually problems with armoring our dwarves properly because all we'll have is tetrahedrite. So essentially we'll be running on copper. But I think it'll be fine all the same. So what I want to do is dig up a couple of levels till say here. Just so that we have access to soil and we can plant our first crop of plump helmets. Because I do want to get those started. That's our basic food supply to ensure that we don't starve, if nothing else. Now the dwarves won't actually get too unhappy from that, since the happiness was changed in this version of the game to the new stress mechanic. But here, so you know, it's a viable basic food thing that we can actually use. Okay, that's actually nearly done. Excellent. So we're gonna make a stone stockpile here, and we're gonna tell it to give to the mason's workshop. And here we're gonna forbid everything except for microline. So all the microline we have will be stored in there. In fact, I might rip down the walls and turn that into blocks as well. Can't rip down the stairs, those need to stay in place, but you know, as a thing. How do I want to handle this here? I think I want to build a proper landing first. In fact, dig it all out, because we'll be replacing it with stone anyway. Yeah. And we'll make a small dumping zone here for now, so that we can dump these out of our stone stockpile, like so. Yeah. And the food stockpile to the south and the refuse stockpile to the north, I think. That ought to be about right. And they are moving the leftover microline over. Good. Yes, let's do this, because I want to turn all the microline into blocks. ABR on repeat. Okay, now one of you guys is actually gonna learn how to cut wood. Sorry, that's wood crafting, we want cutting. And we're gonna, well, essentially cut down a few trees around the entrance, and that's it. We're not gonna bother with more right now. You are on dumping orders, right? Right, excellent. And he's gonna start making blocks for our construction. It's gonna be awesome. Okay. So, what if I made a thing like this, and then had things going in out like this, have my farm plots organized like this? I think that this will work. Yes. I think that's a decent start for farm plotting thing. So that's how we're gonna organize it for now. I think that'll be fine. Obviously we're gonna build some microline walls and floors here, once all that microline is actually turned into things. It's gonna be great. Okay. Oh. Oh, for fuck's sake. Oh, no, 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 that is so not good. That is in fact very bad. That is very bad. That is very, very bad, because that means that our booze is essentially drowned. Which means that we need to get more somehow. How do we get more booze, you ask? Well, that's a very good question. I wish I had an answer to that. I really wish I had an answer to that. Actually, make me another farm plot here as well. And let's make sure to have their farming active, so that they can actually farm and survive. Obviously I want the food thing started and going as quickly as possible. We do have some booze left here, but some of it is obviously trapped. Alright, that's getting ripped up. Good. You hold bars blocks, and you hold wood here. There we go. And start turning out some charcoal. Okay, you are furrowing that field, good. And you are ripping that up as you should be. Excellent, that will do. That is actually great. That's what I want them to do. Sort of. You have a fair amount of my plant blocks already, that's good. Charcoal for the starting of the things, good. Debating whether to create landings on these. I suppose I should for neatness sake. Which actually means that I should have one here as well. Again, for neatness sake. Which means that we need to dig out around like this. Right. Right. Yay, so. I guess I could dig out the roots of the tree and do it like that. Once the river freezes over, I'm pretty sure I'll be able to dig over here and just recover this stuff, but it will actually take a bit of time, since we have to wait through what passes for summer up here in the cold, cold north. And, well, you did make one charcoal, so that's good. 2, in fact. Okay, I am gonna have to end the first episode here. Thank you all for watching, I hope you enjoyed this, and I will see you guys in the next one.